What are the categories of management control, or how is management control organized categorically? Well, to begin with, controls are generally grouped as either strategic controls or operational controls. Strategic controls are holistic. It's a look at whether all of the tasks and functions being carried out in the organization are effective in moving towards the organizational level goals. So basically, you're monitoring all competitive and operational activity to make certain it is achieving its intended purpose, and that purpose needs to align with the overall organizational goals. Operational goals, on the other hand, are simply whether operations are being carried out in accordance with expectations and standards, and whether those operations are yielding the individual results identified for that particular operation set. So controls generally can be divided into two levels within each category. First, what is the level of proactivity that managers are undertaking with regard to that area of control, and then whether the area of control is focusing on outcomes or whether it's focusing on how the activities are being carried out, that is behavioral. So let's look at level of proactivity first. Generally, there are three categories there: feed forward, concurrent, and feedback. Feed forward means you're constantly monitoring any metrics or standards of performance to make certain that you are heading off any negative outcome at the past, that you are identifying any shortfalls in the objectives of an activity, and you can thus make changes proactively before a major issue arises. Concurrent means you are monitoring real time and you're trying to make changes based upon performance as it's happening. So rather than projecting forward what's going to happen based upon some current set of activity, you're looking at exactly what's happening in operations now and making on-the-spot changes. And then, of course, feedback, you're looking after the fact at the performance metrics and standards to see if any necessary changes need to be made. So one is looking forward, one is concurrent, and one is looking back. When it comes to outcome versus behavioral, outcome is you're strictly focusing on, did the activity achieve what it was intended to achieve? So you're comparing it to your performance metrics. Behavioral, on the other hand, means what was the means or method by which it was carried out? Did the actual act of carrying out the processes that are being controlled by the manager, did it comply or conform closely with the expectations for how it was carried out and the standards that govern the means or method by which it's carried out? So it's actually form more so than the results. The results would be focused more on the performance measures and the outcome. Okay, and then lastly, oftentimes these controls are grouped into financial versus non-financial. Okay, strategic focus on overall objectives of the goal, which may have a strategic element to it, which may have a financial element to it, and operational the same way, has to fit within budgets. But generally, financial performance is bottom line, and money is used as the metric of performance. So that would be primarily a performance measure that is outcome based, where non-financial is focusing on other things such as behavioral elements, how it's carried out, ultimately whether standards were adhered to, and some of the non-financial measures of what it means to conform to the standards and objectives of the activity of the company. So this is generally how we break down the categories of control as part of the management function.